Hello and welcome to the 96th installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, joined by our co-host, Jordan, and our sometimes co-host, Alex.
Yeah. Alex, what's going on? You dying?
Yeah. So, my parents have COVID, so that's why I'm wearing this. I'm vaxxed and everything, but it's just a precaution.
And he feels fine. He's just being a good friend.
Yeah.
And we bullied him relentlessly
But I'm triple vaxxed, and so is Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I got the booster. I think I need to schedule it still.
Yeah.
They were like, you gotta wait 6 months, and then that was probably like 6 months ago. So.
And then I read recently, I was like, how many shots are there? Because I was like, I thought there was a fourth one, but I was also heard that like you don't really have to get it.
I have no idea.
And I was like, how many shots are there? And then for some reason they made me wait like 2 weeks in between each dose, and then like the booster wasn't out when I got my second one, so I waited like 6 months. And now it says like 4 days. So I don't know what the
4 days?
I don't know what the deal is, or what, I'm not trying to say or like speculate or spread misinformation. I'm just saying it's confusing.
Yeah, none of it makes any sense.
Not very cut and dry.
Maybe I misread it. Maybe it said 14 and I'm just retarded.
Maybe.
Formalities, Chris? Are we ready for the formalities?
Platforms,
baby. You know what time it is. So, if you want to listen to the podcast, you can find us on youtube.com. We have a video platform. Hopefully you're seeing us right now. And on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast. That's my app of choice. And, of course, the RSS feed to put it into whatever app you want. And speaking of that video platform, we are on Spotify Video. So you can see us there. And as always, comments, questions, concerns, and death threats in the comment section on YouTube or via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Yeah. And one thing to get out of the way is I hope we look better this week, because the last 2 weeks we all looked sickly. And
let us know how we look, because we have lights.
We have lights that I stole from work.
Yes.
No, my boss said it was okay to take them.
He did, but it was under duress. Like Jordan had a gun. That's not true. He didn't.
Not true. He
just asked.
No, it was funny. I very kindly was like, hey man, you remember those lights that you bought for us here at work? I'm gonna take those. He's like, sure, yeah, you can use them. So me and Chris might buy these lights, but we're testing some things out, because we looked sickly last episodes.
And I was being raptured by God.
You did look like you were getting raptured.
Yeah, the top of my head was all glowing.
Ever since you shaved the head, man, it's just
if these end up working out, you'll have to update me more, Jordan, when you're working on this. But I might just get these anyway, regardless of whether we use them for the podcast or not, because I just like them.
Yeah.
And they would be very useful.
There's a lot of options. You can change
you can go
quite a wide range of
you can dim
type.
in 10% intervals, and you can go from 3200 to 5600K. So you can pretty much go from like warm lighting to like almost daylighting. So daylight lighting. So
yeah, we were gonna set up daylighting, but these that I have here are all pretty warm.
Yeah, they're probably like 3300. So looked like
I don't know
ass.
the specs on it. What happens is occasionally the electric company will be like, hey, we're going to do an energy audit. And my dad's like, all right. And then they look at your light bulbs and they're like, and they put new light bulbs in. So I don't know. I didn't buy these.
I've never had that happen to me.
You've never had that happen?
Me neither.
No.
I think you might have to ask for it.
Yeah.
But sometimes they'll do it. Or sometimes they'll send a mailer for it. And it's like, hey, we'll give you free shit. And my dad's always like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love free stuff. So that's how we got these.
Free stuff is pretty goddamn sweet. But so hopefully the lights look good. It definitely looked a lot better when we previewed it. So yeah, it's good. But Chris, do you have anything you want to kick it off with?
I mean, we did some. Do we want to reveal?
That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Yeah.
Okay.
Should we announce? Make an announcement. One that will actually happen, by the way.
Hopefully.
No, it's going to happen. I'm making this shit happen.
The ground opens up and the entirety of the U.S. just sinks into the earth.
The whole country's going to sink down into the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, and we're all going to be dead.
Yeah.
So we re-planned out our camping trip.
It's gone through a lot of revisions.
Yep.
It's gone through 17 different revisions, and it's less camping, and now we're staying in a rather ritzy cabin.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an Airbnb, and we are basically staying there, and we're going to make kind of like a travel vlog, but it's more of like an exploration vlog.
We're gonna make gay porn. I mean gay porn. I mean gay porn. I mean
No, that's not happened. Maybe between these two. But fun fact, there's actually a dungeon in this Airbnb.
Yeah, there's a masturbatorium.
Yeah, so,
it's I was scrolling through the pictures and I hit that one. I was like, "The hell is this?" It's a basement with one table and like
Two chairs or three chairs.
2 chairs or something, and a computer on it in the middle of the room.
I would say throw the image on screen, but I want to reveal it when we get there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
please look out for that video. It's going to be coming. We are staying in late July, so expect the video in like probably mid-August, somewhere around there, or early August.
Early August probably.
This is going to be a fucking banger of a video. We have a lot planned, a lot we are still planning.
Yeah, I just have to because what I did recently is like, I have 2 SSDs and I essentially swapped them because I have one 1 terabyte and one 250 gig, and I had Windows on a 1 terabyte and I had Linux on a 250 gig, and I swapped them essentially.
Yep.
Because I've been using just Linux and I only use Windows when I need Windows, and then eventually what's gonna happen in a year, I'm gonna change my mind and switch them back. So
Right. But yeah, this video is going to be a big project for us, biggest one we've done to date. But yeah, we're going to travel to this Airbnb. You're going to go on a drive. It's going to be us, another guest that I won't announce yet, maybe, because it's still up in the air. And we have some shit planned, man.
We're gonna get killed in the middle of the woods.
If that happens, I just ask that if like this becomes found footage, right? Like if all of a sudden we get killed and I have my camera in the woods and someone, who killed us looks through it and finds this exact video, please upload it.
Yes.
And like make money off it.
What I think would be really funny, Jordan, this is me spitballing, if our extra guest, we don't acknowledge them directly ever, but they're just in the background like a cryptid always.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that they would just stare as we were
just
recording.
in the shot, like they're never in focus. It's just, it'll just be like it'd be like Bigfoot footage.
That would be pretty funny.
That would be funny, but
Yeah.
I feel like it would be too difficult to pull off, and we should address them directly in general.
Yeah.
It would be too difficult, and also I feel like that person would be like, "What the fuck am I even here for?"
Yeah, like why
My
the fuck
one
did I
role
even
is
show
to
up?
creep in the back.
For an hour.
For an
Each
hour.
video.
Yeah, so we have a lot planned on this, by the way. So if you have any
Yeah.
suggestions, like again, we're going in late July. So if you have a suggestion, like, hey, you're in a wooded area, like, what do you want to see? Tell us. But we have a bunch of shit planned. So
I want to see Jordan get mauled to death by like some type of animal.
again, as long as it gets uploaded.
Yeah.
All
Some
I
sort
ask
of
is,
bear.
Yeah.
I want this to be on r/praise the cameraman, not r/kill the cameraman. So like if the bear attacks, don't be like, oh shit, and run. No. Zoom in.
Yeah.
Get the 60x optical. I want to see my veins sever as it slices me into pieces. I mean, I won't see it, but I want someone to see it.
It'll be that I'll be filming and Alex will just pointing and laughing at you.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking black bear. He's not even that big, but he's beating my ass. I'm like, oh shit.
He's got boxing gloves on.
Damn. He's on his hind legs, standing like a human.
He hits you with a mean right hook, and it just spins your head around like
It's like
a
a
top.
fucking cartoon, dude. But yeah, that's the big announcement. And we're creeping up on our 100th episode, so we're gonna do something for that too.
We do a little creeping. It's called we do a little creeping.
And our birthdays are soon. By the time the camping trip is done, we'll be 21.
Not mine. I'm already 21.
Alex is 21 already.
Yeah, so look out for something like that. You know.
Something spicy in the works.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got a lot planned.
Yeah, it's actually
Yeah.
the whole trip for the whole plan for the camping trip. We're actually not going to do any podcast things. We're just going to die of alcohol poisoning
We're
in a
blackout drunk. Half the footage is gonna be our guest
Yeah.
just filming us as we're like.
We're going to
Dead.
look through this the next day. Like, damn, we can't use any of this. This is god awful.
Honestly, that would be hysterical if somehow this isn't gonna happen, but that would be hysterical because if we decided to drink and we got like blackout drunk and we just had like found footage, we're like, what the
I feel
fuck?
like I feel like we will, but not to that extent.
Yeah, no, we ain't doing that. But I still think it would be hysterical to just like wake up and be like, oh, my head hurts. You check the camera and it's just like me and Alex
Just
having a boxing
stupid
match
shit.
in the grass
Just like
and
Chris is
laughing.
on the couch, naked, dancing. Me and Jordan are beating the shit out of each other
Also naked.
throughout the
Our
whole
guest
night.
is just like eating soup in the background. Like,
6 hours straight, the whole night. Chris wakes up the next day. He's like, "Fuck, am I naked?" And we're looking through the video. Just 6 hours of him dancing on this couch.
he's
His
super
feet are
slim.
bleeding.
He's super slim. He's like buff as fuck while the dancing. That would be hysterical. That would be funny, but that's not gonna happen, unfortunately. But it'll still be a good time.
That'll be a different video.
That's the OnlyFans account.
That'll be the after dark.
After dark, yeah, but it'll be a good time. So glad we made that announcement, and stay tuned. So
Stay tuned.
what? Anything else you got, Chris? Anything you want to speak on? I got a couple things. So if you need time,
I have an update on something, but I want to reveal that because it's a very an ongoing situation and has been an ongoing situation for a while, and I want to give an update on it. But you go first. I already went.
okay. So here's a fucking update for you. So I bought some ACs, right? It's a little stinky around these times of the year, right? You're just sitting there and you're just melting.
Yeah.
You like go to pick your arm up and it's like soup, right?
Yeah. Cool thing about AC is I'll let you get back to your point, but I was gonna put the AC in the window in the bedroom upstairs because that's where I sleep because it's a basement. There's no windows to put an AC, so I was gonna put the AC in on like Wednesday. It was like 80 degrees on Wednesday. I was like, let's put this in the window. And then I looked at my phone, and it's like, it's going to be 50 for the next 3 days.
Oh.
And then I looked again today. I was like, it looks like it's going to be warm today. Oh, it's 59. That's when I got up this morning. It was 59.
Very
now it's a bit
cloudy, too.
warm.
This
So I
weather's
might
all
put
over
it
the
in
place.
and use it tonight. But
Yeah, this weather is ridiculously all over the place. But we had bought some ACs. I was like, hey, there's a nice deal. We can get 2 stand-up 7,000 BTU ACs for like
Goddamn.
$320 each.
goddamn.
I was like, hell yeah, count me in.
Wow.
I buy these ACs. They get delivered. I wanted stand-up ACs because I'm like, I don't feel like drilling in the window. Like, my landlord just put new windows. I don't want to fucking drill into the sash and stuff. Like,
I mean,
just sucks.
Why would you need to drill in?
You don't have to get the one that mounts, do you?
What do you mean? Like the window AC you're saying?
Yeah, if you get the
Yeah.
window AC, you don't need the one with the brackets. It's
Yeah.
usually for much larger ones, isn't it?
No, so typically when you actually install it, you can rest it in the window. But
Well, you're on the 3rd floor, so I would actually.
guess.
You
yeah.
need somewhere to mount it. So the slides.
Mine just rests in the window.
Yeah, so does mine.
But if it falls
It's
or if
like
something
6 feet.
happens, it's gonna fall like 2 feet onto a deck.
Yeah.
Yours is gonna fall
50 something
50 feet onto someone's head.
Yeah.
Onto,
Yeah.
Onto the front
some
stairs.
guy overdosing on your front stairs, and it's gonna land on his head and kill him even faster than the overdoses.
What you could do is, like, I always put a board I wedge in the top sash to hold it. You could do just that. But I usually put a screw, and I was like, I just want stand-up ones. They're just easier.
Yeah,
right?
Jordan's just trying to be responsible,
And,
and I'm upset with him.
I bought these stand-up ACs, and they were delivered. So we had a nice long weekend for Memorial Day. We had 4 days, actually.
Jordan had 5. We shall
had 5,
discuss
yeah.
this later.
Yes, that we shall discuss. But I had 5, so on my first day off, I was like, oh, the ACs are coming. Cool. They get delivered. I set them up. I put them in place. I'm like, these are running very nice. These are nice ACs. A couple days go by. We go back to work on Tuesday. I come home Tuesday, and I open the front door, and the AC is just dripping wet. It just has water all over it. And I'm like, the fuck happened? I'm like, did it rain? Like, well, I don't understand how this is possible. So I go to Letsy, and I'm like, hey, why is that AC wet? And she was like, oh, well, I turned it on, and it sprayed water. And I'm like,
How does it deal with the condensation? Does it have a tube or does it have a reservoir?
you can put a tube, but there's a reservoir.
Because that's the thing with this one over here. I would
Yeah.
use it, but it doesn't have a reservoir.
Oh, it's at the
Really?
tube.
Yeah, it just has the tube.
Yeah.
So what I was doing is I had a catch can for it,
Yeah.
and I ended up doing that. But now the window's patched up because of the winter.
Yeah.
Right. But, yeah, so it was just blowing water. So I turned this thing on, and sure enough, it is just full of shit. Like, the radiator must have burst or something. Like, there's just water everywhere in this thing. So it fucking self-destructed. So needless to say, I have a replacement coming on Monday. And,
Nice.
yeah, we'll see how that goes. But another thing that happened with the ACs, right, is... you know the tiny windows I have in my apartment, like the ones that are like floor
Yeah.
level?
Yeah.
I got those tiny windows, and I was putting one in our bedroom, and I have a tiny window and a full-size window, and I was like, oh, I like it better near the tiny window. I'll vent it out there, because the big one, it was just in the way. I'm like, let me do that. So I put the window framing in, where it has the cutout for the exhaust, and I didn't put the exhaust. So I walked away. I come back, and Oscar had an experience with the god, because he was sticking out of the hole.
Oh my god.
Staring at the cement down below. And I fucking sprinted, and I just grabbed him and ripped him back in. He wasn't trying to jump out. He literally just had his
was
head
just
out.
looking?
And he was just like, what the fuck is going on out here?
Holy
I think he had an
shit.
experience with the god, because I think he's used to just like, let me step out the window. Oh, I'm ground level.
Yeah.
And then he was like, what the fuck? Where am I?
The thing with Oscar is if he fell, like he would land and he would be fine because cats are usually fine falling from very high heights, but the ground wouldn't, because that's a large cat.
That is a large hunk of cat. But yeah, so he had a visit to God. He was
Nice.
one with God. So like the rapture that you had, I imagine he stuck his head out and the sun just beamed on his head and he had a rapture.
He's like, oh, I'm finally free.
I can't believe it. Let me take my first step. Oh fuck.
Yeah, and then you pulled him back in.
Yeah, I imagine what I'm imagining how this interaction went is you walked back with whatever you said you got, or whatever you're doing. You walk back and you see him poking his head out, and you dive for him. You grab him by the scruff of the neck and whip him behind you.
I grabbed him. He had his front paws. I grabbed him by like his breast in the front, his breastbone, and I grabbed him by like the collar, and I just like slinked him back in. He was like, ugh.
He didn't know what was happening.
Oh shit!
I fucking just yeeted him back in, and then I put the hose on. He was just looking at me. I'm like, you ain't going out there, bud. I was like, you are not gonna take that fall.
Dumbass cat.
I was like, you fucking idiot. But I also did another thing over the long weekend. So I installed the ACs, and then I went down a rabbit hole. Right? I was in bed. Lexi went to work. I had the day off. I'm like, man, what do I have on this Roku thing? And I found HBO Max, and I use our boss's subscription. So I was like, let me check this out. What's on here? And then I found out this was the worst thing that could have ever happened to me. I found out they have a Cartoon Network corner, they call it.
Oh wow!
So I clicked on it, and it's all the old cartoons. It's Tom and Jerry. It's fucking Chowder. It's Ed, Ed and Eddie. It's fucking Ben 10. And needless to say, I binge watched Ben 10 for the whole Memorial Day weekend.
Oh nice.
So
nice.
yeah, I watched about 30 episodes.
Wow.
That show made me realize two things. Ben is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do what he's supposed
He's
to.
literally 10, bro.
Not in this one. This was the Alien Force one. He's like 16.
Oh, well,
So-
I was stupid when I was 16 too, and I'm stupid now
So
still.
he's like, he turns into an alien, and he's in a fight, and then he just kind of stands there. And he just like gets his ass kicked without actually putting up a fight.
I want to see like a incarnation of Ben 10, like a version of Ben 10, but it has like the same level of fights as like in Invincible.
Yeah, well,
Where it's
Just complete
disgusting.
gore.
right. That
It's
was
just full of gore and it's brutal.
that was kind of my next point. Is I wish Ben 10 was for adults because it made me realize that like this concept on paper is really cool.
So we had the exact same thought at
Yeah.
different times. We've had that before.
but it's watered down to a kid's show at the end of the day. But if this was like some M-rated or A-rated, whatever the fuck they call it, like cartoon like Invincible, this would be one of the sickest things ever.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it'd be.
he turns
I think
into an
it'd be
alien
neat.
instead of being like, pew, fireball. He just disintegrates someone. Or he turns into Diamond Head and he sticks a spear through someone's fucking throat.
Yeah, I think it'd be fucking
that would
awesome.
be sick.
Yeah.
That would be so sick.
So
So we need to make it. We're going to make it.
Did season 2 of Invincible ever come out?
Not yet, no. But it got confirmed for, I think, season 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I know. I know
sick.
it got confirmed,
But it hasn't come out yet.
But
no.
it hasn't come out yet. The season 1 still fucking fantastic.
So good. Such a good show. Such a good freaking show, man. And someone I was talking to said they read the comments and they saw kind of where it was going, and it gets like even better. So
I imagine it does.
it's gonna be fucking sick.
And I'm just not very much a comics guy, so.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I prefer the show, and the show was like amazing, like just so good. Like even as someone who had no idea what it was going into it, it was incredible.
Yeah. Alex, do you have anything to say?
Nah.
So, it wouldn't be an episode of the podcast if I didn't talk about my car. So, this is not actually my car, per se. Last July, on my 20th birthday exactly, last July I went to buy a 2017 Fiesta ST. And currently, I own a 2019 Fiesta ST. And if you remember the whole saga that happened...
If you were there, yeah.
Yeah.
when I went to buy that car, the original one, the 2017, it was like the worst car buying experience I've ever had. And it's like these guys it's a company called Vroom, or Vroom.com. Don't ever buy anything from them.
Yeah, no.
And they spent like, all this time jerking me around, and I eventually was like, yeah, fuck it, just cancel the deal. I don't give a shit. And I got all my money back and everything, but they did two things. They registered the car in my name, and they titled it in my name. So I canceled the registration, but it was still titled in my name. So I got the title sent to my house because it was supposed to be sent to my bank because, it was supposed to be a loan on it.
Yeah.
But they bounced it back because they're like, this isn't us. They bounced it back. And I went to the DMV website and I had it sent to my house. So I had a title for this vehicle. And it wasn't registered, so I didn't have to pay taxes on it, like excise tax. So like, I don't give a shit. My plan was I was going to get a frame and frame the title.
Yep.
And just keep it.
Like a collectible of that horrible experience.
Yeah. Because like technically I still own the car and
Yeah.
it had been about a year and they haven't reached out. Well, about I think Thursday, I got a call from I got a call from the bank, but my voicemail box was full and my voicemail didn't tell me because it usually gives me a notification and then it didn't. So anyway, so they didn't leave a voicemail, but they sent me an email. Say, hey, we got a call from like a dealership's called Vroom, and there's something about releasing a title for a car. I was like, huh, interesting.
Yeah.
So I called the lady at the bank the next day, and I explained the whole situation. She thought it was very funny. And I explained the whole thing. I said, I can bring it to you. And she told me to, bring it to the main branch of the bank, which, that's not that crazy. It's a credit union, so it's like...
So when you usually go to?
Yeah.
No, it's like one town over, so it's not too bad.
Whoa.
It was a bit of a...
It's like a day trip right there.
Yes, honestly, it took me, 25 minutes there and back. So I go and I give them the title. I wasn't going to explain the whole story to the teller because they were actually kind of busy and they closed when I left, they closed at 6 and I left at like 5:40. So I was like, I'm not going to explain, or I left the bank at like 5:40. So I got there at like 5:30.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to explain the whole story to the guy because it's like, and so I was like, there's a whole story that goes with this. But basically this has to go to this person in the loan department. That's what she told me to say. So I gave her that. I gave him that, and then it has to go, throughout the bank, and they'll release it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this is all coming to an end. But my question is, let me pose a hypothetical to both of you guys. You own a dealership, a quite large dealership, perhaps. And at a dealership, you sell what exactly? Cars.
Cars,
Usually.
Yeah.
Cars and trucks, yeah.
And in the United States, to prove that you own a car or truck or a vehicle, you need a title, perhaps. Now, if you, the owner of a dealership, notice that there's a vehicle that you don't have a title for, what's your reaction? Do you try to find what happened to it, trace it down, or do you wait a year after the person who actually has the title reaches out to you multiple times?
I find who has a title and I send them a bomb.
You know what I would do? I would sync the audio.
Ah, shit. We never did that.
Oh, you're right.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, we got it now. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that was really funny.
But no, I'd be pretty pissed if the title went missing. I basically lost an asset.
Yeah, especially like a $20,000+ car.
Yeah,
and
not even like a beater.
And the person who has the title told you multiple times, hey, I have the title, you guys need this.
And threatened legal action,
Yeah,
too.
it was like, hey, I'm going to do something if this doesn't come to a head. But that's when I knew, that's before I knew it wasn't going to be a financial burden. Once I knew it wasn't going to be a financial burden, I didn't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
Then you wanted to frame it, yeah.
So, yeah, my point is,
Don't buy a car from Vroom.
don't buy a car from Vroom. They're
idiots.
Yeah, they're fools. The big issue is, I think, when you call them to get information about your deal or your car that you're trying to buy, you don't talk to the person who's organizing the deal at all. You talk to some random tech support person, and
I know that feeling.
you call into them and you say, hey, this is my name, this is the deal that I have, this is the car that I'm buying, what's the status? Or what do you need? Or can I speak to the person who's writing this deal up? And the answer is always no. So it's like, I don't know what to tell you. And eventually I started getting more and more aggressive. I was like, hey, what the fuck is going on? Let's kind of go. I bought a lot of cars and it's never taken this long.
Yeah.
So it's just I can't speak to like other places like Carvana, but like if it's anything like Vroom, it's going to suck.
Yeah.
What I would recommend if you want a dealership that has, anything, because they have locations all over the goddamn place, is just go to CarMax. You're going to pay the same premium you would at like, a Vroom or a Carvana, but you can go to a location, speak to the same person, and buy a car. And after you drive that car, they'll let you drive it for 24 hours too.
Yeah, that's what you did with the ST, didn't you?
Yeah, I signed all the paperwork, and they give you a 24-hour test drive, and that's what I did. So that's what I would recommend if you're like, oh, I'm looking for something that's kind of niche, and
don't know if I'll like it.
Yeah,
It's expensive.
Yeah, go in to a CarMax.
Yeah.
CarMax, sponsor us.
And Pocket Cast also sponsor us.
Yes.
Fucking Pocket Cast, goddammit.
So that was potentially a year-long saga that's coming to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally. I mean,
I just don't understand why they would sign over the one thing that says, we no longer own this car, you now own it. Why would you sign that over before you get the money for the car?
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't make sense.
That's what I'm saying.
You never gave them the money.
No, I didn't.
So why would you register it and then say that you no longer own this car?
Honestly, I would say that you're right, but I have made that same fucking mistake.
Yeah.
Because when I got my new shotgun, I was supposed to sell my dad my old one. So I filled out the paperwork, legally signing it over to him, and then he never paid me.
Nice.
And he just kind of forgot about it. So I really had no leg to stand on other than being like, hey, can you sign it back to me? So I was just like, fucking take it.
Did he ever pay you back?
No.
Nice.
So I just kind of gave that away, which in fairness, that shotgun was technically a birthday present because he did give me the money at the time to buy it because it was for my birthday, but it still was mine. So I just kind of cut my losses with it. It was only like $150, $200, but still.
Yeah, and
I'm
that's
the idiot
also
who signed it over before ever even seeing the money too.
Granted though, in a situation like that, that's not something I would want to mess around with.
And you're not a business either.
Because and you're not a business too. So. It's like, that's something I wouldn't want to mess around with, where it's like, oh, I transferred this firearm to someone else.
Yeah.
Because now if you get caught as like you have this firearm that's not yours, and the person who owns it is not living with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if that person, there was no like bad blood about it. It was just my mistake. Like if it was bad blood, just say, then the person would be like, no, I didn't let them borrow it. Because you can legally let them borrow it, but the person also has to be like, yeah, I let them borrow it. So if he was like, no, then it becomes a big
But again,
legal issue.
that's you're not a business.
Yeah.
I'm not a trained accountant or anything like that. I'm just some fucking schmuck, and I was like
it's
17.
not your job to keep track of.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a low value item, unlike a car.
Yeah, I know. Like, okay, yeah, net loss of 200, net loss of 20,000.
Yeah. Quite a big difference.
So that's
I'd say it's about 100 times.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Around there.
Yeah.
At least
give or take.
At least $10 or $15 more than what you were saying.
I don't know though. I mean, if you think about the math, right? Is 20,000 really like $10 or $15 more greater? Like, I don't think so.
It's at least.
It's like $7 more.
At least.
$7.
Minimum. Yeah, somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. Like if you round up, maybe. Round up for like charity.
We round just a little
like you
bit
go to,
up.
When you go to the store, right? Like I've gone to the store, I spend $1.98, hit round up, and it goes to 20,000.
Yeah, round up. Yeah.
Yeah, they I like that because they'll ask me like, hey, your order's like $15.98. Do you want to donate the 2 cents? And I'm like, no.
No, I don't.
I only do it for simplicity's sake. For when I log in my little like pay tracker thing or my money tracker thing, I'm just like, yeah, it's $2, $3, $4.
I'll look them dead in the fucking eyes and say, you want to donate 2 cents?
What the fuck is this? Someone just fucking texted me something. Been thinking about you today. What you up to? What are you up to? Should we make this a podcast bit? Should I reply?
Are there other people in the message queues or just one person? Because I once had somebody message me with
it's this bitch. She sent me something.
Oh, that is
God damn.
200% fake is what that is.
Yeah.
You know what I've been thinking about is that you look like a fucking whore.
Damn.
That's,
No
Should I
punch.
reply and say you look like a whore?
Call him and just be like, "Oh, what up, bitch?"
So that's really interesting.
Want to star 67 him?
Those
What?
yeah, it's gonna go nowhere.
Damn it. I'm going to
Um,
make a bit out of it.
That's an interesting thing about those like spam texts where it's like a picture of just some random woman and it's like, hey,
Yeah.
you want to chat or do you want more pics or whatever? Interesting thing about that, men get them so frequently that we just, we know. It's like we don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. One woman got one and immediately thought it was a human trafficking incident.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a big thing on TikTok. People were like, there was like one woman who got one of these spam texts and was like, this could be human trafficking. Like, I get these fucking stupid things
Yeah.
all the time.
I bet I could reverse image search that girl and find her like on Instagram somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's probably just some random model that I've never seen, like a Brazilian model or something.
Well, that's usually what
Probably,
they do. They either go on like on Instagram or Reddit or find someone who's like has no real following and wouldn't be recognized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they just show a photo of them like, hey, what you doing, baby? Also, you're going to tell me, right, that girl, right, that girl you saw in the photo sent that. Been thinking about today. What are you up to?
And also,
It's so
who leads
stupid,
the conversation with that?
No one.
Like,
Who falls for
all right,
this shit?
fine. I'll just beat my meat to it. It's fine.
Who
Who
falls?
falls for this shit? That's what I don't know.
It's like an
Boomers.
exclusively old person thing because they
I
have boomer
guess.
brain.
I guess.
Like, I could totally see. My dad will get stuff like that, and he'll be like, oh, this girl just sent this. And I'm like, no, that girl, some like Indian dude in the call center probably sent that.
They'll look at
Some
it.
robot sent it.
Yeah.
They'll look at
Yeah,
it and their
delete that.
lead-addled brain will be like, oh yeah.
I really
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
this
legit.
20-year-old woman is definitely into my
That's-
68-year-old man ass. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it's you and a 60-year-old man ass or no?
No, I can't say I am.
I think that is like a reason why those scams work so well is because
Just
of
old people and lead.
the lead poisoning.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I didn't know
No
how
reasoning, yeah.
I
when
didn't
you
know
get
how
that age.
bad of a problem it was, but there's from leaded gasoline, the amount of lead on the surface of the earth and even all the way down into the ocean was like significantly higher than it should be.
Yeah.
And it actually lowered IQs for like, fucking 80 years. And then you can see when they stopped using like leaded gasoline, crime rates went way down
Yeah.
because lower IQs leads to like higher crimes typically.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a whole generation where crime went way up and IQs went way down and then no more lead.
Yeah.
They knew lead was bad too and they were like,
Yeah,
fuck
They
Y'all
still
ever just
did
eat
it.
lead paint? You just like peel it.
Yeah. Just be sucking that shit. I'd be opening the paint cans and drinking that stuff right from the source.
I
man.
mean, yeah, that's like a baby moment.
yeah.
Babbis moment. Yeah. No, that is interesting. I don't know what it is about those scams. Like they call and they're like, there's this one guy who always calls, right? And he goes, hey, is Andy there? And I'm like,
I
no,
did the same
Andy's not here.
thing.
And he's like, hey, this is John. Oh, well, maybe you
Yeah.
can help me. This is John from the police. And I'm just like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
This is the same thing I get. I get calls looking for Robert all the time. I'm not Robert.
I don't know. I don't
They
even know
say-
why you pick them up.
They say that I have a.
I usually don't.
They asked me about a property that I don't own. I don't know who owns it. Presumably Robert.
Oh.
They keep asking me
Right.
about this property, and I'm like, I'm not Robert, man. And
Right.
I never answer. I rarely answer, but when I do, they're always like, "Hey, is this Robert?" I'm like, "No, it's not fucking Robert, dude."
It's the same thing with me with those house insurance companies. I still get calls from them.
Hmm.
Somebody must have just used my phone number for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. You know what I have Tuesday, unfortunately? Fucking jury duty.
Ah.
Have fun with that one.
Yeah, I got a call Monday night by 4 p.m. and they'll tell me whether I have to go or not.
Yeah, I got a
Hopefully I
call.
don't.
I have
Yours the 15th or something?
Most
Yeah.
of the time you don't.
Most time you don't, but you know.
Last time it happened to me, they just called me and said, "Hey, you don't have to go."
yeah,
That was all.
And
they
then you're
sent
good for
me
what,
the
5 years? It's 5 years, I think.
I have no
I
idea
think
what
so.
it
I
is.
think it's 5 years after, so.
I got it like I got jury duty notice like a month or two after I turned 18.
Oh, rip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got it a few months
I
back.
just got one and
got it the
mine's
same day.
on the 15th.
Or like 2 days. Remember that?
Yeah. That's why I asked Jordan when his was, because like if we were gonna have to wait in this lobby
Yeah.
or whatever, in the courthouse, I would at least get to hang out with Jordan.
Well, that would kind of be our outing too, because if you can't have two people who know each other on the jury, you're not really supposed to do that. So when they asked you, like, "Hey, do you
that'd
know
be
anyone
cool,
in this
yeah.
room?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I've known him for 5 years," and they'd kick us both out immediately.
Yeah.
Or maybe one of us, and then we'd have to fight to the death to see who goes out.
And it's
who
like
has to
I've known him for like 5 years, but I'm racist, so you should probably kick me out.
Well, I'm short and racist.
Or
so
if you show up and you're like
I'm not. I am short though.
But he is racist. That's a lie also.
I'm not racist, allegedly. If you show up and you have like some sort of prejudice, or you have like show some sort of like outward anarchism, they know that. Or if you if you show some sign that you're always gonna side with a criminal,
Just say jury nullification, and then that's all you need to do.
Yeah. They sent me the form. You probably got it already too, to fill out before you go. So
I
it
didn't
asks
get that.
it asks about it says, is there anything about your personality, your background, your lifestyle, etc., that you think would influence a decision? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I wrote like how I have a history of family drug abuse that makes me kind of more eager to be like, oh, this person got arrested dealing drugs, get him out, let's go, get him off the street, kind of thing. So like I was like, yeah, got that, there you go, put that on there, and then hopefully I go there, I'm like, what's this about? Oh, it's about drugs, I'm out.
Yeah.
Deuces.
I would put like
Chris is like, McDonald's, man.
I just hate McDonald's.
They fucking no, actually it's you, Alex. They forgot my fucking Big Mac.
Has this guy ever worked at McDonald's?
Speaking
Has
of-
this guy ever eaten at McDonald's? If so,
we're killing him.
Has he ever said that?
I am voting guilty.
Has he ever said the letter M, the letter C, the letter D? Speaking of McDonald's, you do have something to say.
Yeah, what happened on Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have something to add, Chris, first?
No.
No.
I thought I did, but there's it's not that important.
Make a call back to what happened a few months ago, or a few weeks ago, whenever the fuck it was.
Yeah, so basically we order food at work
Every Friday.
and we got McDonald's, and they forgot like 95% of my order.
And Chris was pissed.
And yeah, I was like actually genuinely really pissed.
Yeah.
And so we ordered McDonald's yesterday.
Yep.
And Alex, what happened?
So, what did I order exactly? I ordered a Big Mac meal, which comes with a Big Mac, a fry, just a single one, just one fry.
One fry.
One fry, and a drink. And I also ordered a 20-piece McNug, because I'm a fat fuck. Right? It's in the name. Big Mac meal. It's right there. They didn't put the Big Mac in the bag.
This is
So I
almost
had-
as bad as last time.
Yeah, I had fries and a drink in my 20-piece. The 20-piece, completely separate thing. So the Big Mac meal, I did not get the main part of the meal. And last time, too, I ordered 2 Big Macs because I forget exactly why. There
It
was
was
some
probably
like
the 2 for $5 thing.
Yeah, there was some like combo thing, and they forgot one of them last time, too. And
And
I gave the other one to
second
Jordan.
one right as
Yeah.
he found out the first one was missing.
Yeah, I have 2 Big Macs, Jordan. You want this? And Jordan's just like, hell yeah. And he starts grubbing
Yep.
on this fucking Big Mac. And then Alex looks into the bag, and there's no second Big Mac.
Oh, that was too
Yeah.
good. Oh, that's when I knew that Alex was a good guy, because I'm like, oh man, I feel so bad. And he's like, no, it's not your fault. It's the fucking schmuck at McDonald's.
So this is what I've said is after our boss has told us to do this multiple
Like twice
times
or-
because it makes sense, and
We don't
I kept
listen.
going no, it's fine. What I'm gonna
fine
do
anymore.
next time is I'm gonna order in the app, and I'm gonna go pick it up
Yeah.
and check it, yeah.
and then check
Yeah.
it. I do that every time I check it. Like, even if I'm in the drive-thru, I check it.
Yeah.
I just like do a field test.
I do the same, too.
I was like, okay, there's the Big Mac, there's the French fry, there's the the nug.
What the fuck is
Okay,
this?
I'm
Pulls out
good.
a hot dog.
Yeah.
If I feel around and I'm missing something, I know that I'm still in the parking lot and I just pull into a space and walk in. That's happened to me before. I used to work right next to a Wendy's, and I would go and I would get Wendy's all the time, and I ordered once and I got a completely wrong order. Like, I just got someone else's food, and I walked back in. I said, hey, my food's wrong. And they're like, and they gave me my food.
Yeah.
It's usually how it goes. It's like we said in a previous episode where people flip out at like stores and stuff. Usually if you're just like, hey, this is wrong, it just gets fixed.
Yeah. Honestly, if you're not a dickhead, it's fast food interactions are pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they probably won't even take back the wrong food, so now you get extra food.
Especially with COVID around, they might not even take it.
Yeah. One time I was at Chick-fil-A, and they I did my order, and they handed me, like my actual order, but they also handed me a drink, there was like a Diet Coke or something, and I went, I took it and I put it in my cup holder, and then I thought for a second, I went, hey, I didn't order a drink, and I said, hey, guy, I didn't order this. He goes, oh, well, we can't take it back, so it's yours now. I'm like, oh shit.
There you go.
Or the time that Chick-fil-A has never fucked up my order in a bad way. They've always given me extra stuff if they fuck up my order. I ordered 1 large fry one time. They gave me 2.
Hell yeah. Their fries be smack, dude.
Yeah. If you haven't had Chick-fil-A waffle fries, you're missing out.
Yeah.
You're really missing out.
You know what?
Shit goes hard.
We should go to Chick-fil-A after this.
I was going to say we go back to that barbecue spot that we went with Jason. They should be.
You didn't go, Alex, did you?
Alex was
you
here.
gotta go.
That shit was so good.
All right. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
we'll
you
go.
gotta go there.
I wanted to try the pulled pork.
Yeah.
Is it like an actual restaurant or?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we took it to go, but it's worth it. Yeah, I say we go there. I'm down for that. But yeah, I've never had an order really drastically messed up.
Yeah, they're open.
I have had a couple like incidences here and there, but yeah, usually you just like walk in, you're like, hey, it's fucked up, and they fix it.
Yeah.
We
couldn't do that in our case because through DoorDash, so we walk in and then.
Yeah. So interesting thing is, I also ordered a Big Mac, not the meal, and I grabbed mine first. So
Yeah.
Sucks to suck. And I was I clicked that there was a problem with my order, and I went, something's missing, and I marked the Big Mac as missing out of the Big Mac meal, and they were like, hey, we'll give you $1.37.
Spit in my face while.
So I backed out of it before accepting that, and I refunded my Big Mac. They gave me $7.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some fucking reason like that.
Mind you, I feel like I can't be like going crazy. I feel like the price of certain things in general has like doubled.
Oh, it's insane, especially like McDonald's, because I was sitting there.
McDonald's I know has gone up a lot, but like that's not even specifically what I'm referencing, but like food in general, like there's sometimes when I go to the store and I'm like, this used to be like half the fucking price.
Yeah, it's getting bad.
I went to buy, those the Uncle Ben's, like the
sauce bottle things?
No, the rice. Like the rice in a bag, you put it in the microwave. I went to buy one of those and I'm like, those used to be like, if I'm not mistaken, like 99 cents. And I paid $2.29.
Wow.
I was like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, for rice. Wow.
For a bunch of rice, and they didn't even have the one I wanted.
That's fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, the price of stuff is just ridiculous. It's just absolutely absurd.
I feel like ground beef, too, is like doubled in price. I paid $6.29 for a pound of ground beef at Target the other day.
Damn.
It's usually $5 where I normally go, but like I was at Target, so I was like, when in Target.
Yeah. When
in Target do Target stuff?
When do we Never mind. Continue.
All right.
So oh man, Alex, you think of anything to add?
In regards to the McDonald's stuff or
anything? If not,
but my point being, I feel like a Big Mac used to be like $5.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Right?
Now it's like almost $7.
So that came out to like 12. So let's just say $13, right? So $7 is the Big Mac, and you're just left with a drink and fries, and that's still a significant like. Just looking at how much money is left for just the fries and the drink, it's like it's ridiculously expensive.
Well, the fries too are like $4.29,
and the drink is technically supposed to be $1 any size it used to be.
Yeah,
so that's how they get you with the meal. Is technically the drink is more expensive than the meal. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But fries are expensive as fuck, dude. You wouldn't expect it, but like they are. I used to think it was like, oh, it's $1.99 for fries. No. Like you said, it's like $4.50, dude.
Maybe in the past, not anymore.
And yeah, the I remember when the 20-piece used to be $4.99.
Now
it's like $9.
It's like $9, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was $8 something is what I paid.
Or like $8.29 or something.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's wild out there, man. Five Guys raised their prices.
Oh, did they? Yeah, but at least their food's good.
Gas is hitting $5 a gallon soon.
Yeah. Some areas of the country it's already at like 7.
Yeah.
Well, California has been 7 for a long time.
Yeah. Yep. You know what I did though? I'm not part of that weekend. I beat Red Dead 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
I beat it again. So the rumors are back around that they're going to remake it as well. So I'm excited for that. I
I
hope
thought
they
that
do.
was confirmed though.
Not the first one, no.
No.
They're remaking some other Rockstar games, but not that one. Yet confirmed anyway.
Yeah.
But I beat Red Dead Redemption, and I do have to say it made me appreciate even more how good they kept the continuity between Red Dead 2 and Red Dead 1, seeing as 2 takes place before but came out after.
Yeah.
They really did a fantastic job keeping that continuity and not really breaking their own rules that they set.
Yeah, it adds a lot of subtext to, like, Red Dead 2 adds a lot of subtext to things that are in Red Dead 1.
Yeah, like you hear them talk about stuff in Red Dead 1, like, oh, that job or this job, and then like you actually do that job in Red Dead 2. So
Yeah. That's cool.
It was pretty sick, to be honest. I definitely enjoyed it. It ran kind of,
Yeah.
bad, but
Like an old game.
But it was a good
Yeah.
time. I got to play it with the PS5 controller, so it handled better. But man, I missed the horse visits for sure. Like Chris said in his playthrough, I really missed the horse visits.
Yeah.
Your horse is just a thing in this.
That's
Yeah.
that's the thing, is like I've said that the horse in Red Dead 2
like a
has
friend.
ruined horses for
Yeah, in any other game. Yeah.
game. Like, the horse in Red Dead 2 is so good, and I played The Witcher, a few months ago, and like Roach in The Witcher is just, again, an object for transport.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a car in like just any other game.
There's nothing engaging about riding like Roach in The Witcher 3. But like riding your horse in Red Dead is like kind of an engaging thing to do. There's different things that your horse can do, and like it controls and acts how I would imagine a real horse would control.
Yeah,
an
as
Yeah.
close to it without being so like boring.
and
'Cause-
the Foley is like super immersive, so they have like all the sound layering where it's like not just the horse's hooves, but it's like the hooves and like your gun and your bandolier, and it's bouncing, and it's like the reins, you hear the reins and the leather, and
yeah.
it's very interesting how they layered the sound in there.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things I said about Red Dead 1 when I mentioned a few episodes back that I'd started playing it again, was the exact opposite with Red Dead 1, where it was probably, it was layered, but for the time, it was, good. But, like, you would cross a bridge with, like, 4 other horses in in your group, and every horse sounds identical.
Yeah.
But in Red Dead 2, you can, like, distinctly tell, like, oh, this sound is here, that sound's there, this is happening. Like, there's different horses, different speeds,
And you get different horses in Red Dead 2, and yeah, they're built for different things. So like, with the oh my god, what's his name? Hamish, where you get his horse after his
Buell.
quest line, you get Buell. It's a
a
very
workhorse.
big workhorse, and it has very distinct, heavy footsteps. It's a very large horse. But you have one of the Arabian horses. They're small
And they're fast.
and they're really fast, and they don't have that like dong dong dong
It's more like-
dong.
as they're going.
Yeah, they don't have
and
that
it's faster too because
sense
you're
of
obviously going
presence.
faster. So
I remember buying one of those, or I found one. I think there's one you can find in the wild, and it's actually better than the ones you can buy. So I found that like really early game, and I remember that was my last playthrough, and I was doing a mission where like you leave camp with I think just Charles, and I was like, I just got up to speed on my horse and I booked it, and I failed the mission because I ran away too fast on my
Jesus
horse.
Christ. Yeah, but I missed the horse, interaction.
Oh yeah, and you can
And-
pet the horse and feed the horse,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah,
it's a
feed
good
it,
time.
brush it, like
Yeah.
I liked all that in Red Dead 2, and I missed it in Red Dead 1. But what I honestly missed, like even like a ton too, was like you just have all your guns. And I like how in Red Dead 2 it's like, oh, okay, do I want to be a little sneaky on this mission? Let me
Yeah,
bring a bow
exactly.
and a rifle.
Don't
or
you
a
carry
bow
it
and a
on the
shotgun.
horse?
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
take it from the horse and you carry it on your back. And you can't just like GTA it where you're like, oh, I
Well,
have
yeah,
my
how it
fist
used
out and
to
now I have an RPG.
In Red Dead 2, it is like GTA, where.
In Red Dead 1.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
it's
Red
like
Dead
GTA.
1. It is like GTA, where
That's
you can
the
just.
problem.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, I have 50,000 Molotovs, I have fucking 3,000 throwing knives,
Yeah.
I have a sniper, another sniper, a bolt action rifle without a scope, a lever action, another lever action, 35 handguns, and then I have a machete.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in Red Dead 2, it's very like, okay, I'm approaching this situation. I'm going to bring a rifle and a bow because I want to sneak with the bow, but if I get caught, I don't want to be stuck with a bow. Bring the rifle. And dual wielding. I
Yeah.
forgot you couldn't dual wield in Red Dead 1.
Yeah.
I totally forgot.
You couldn't?
No.
As much as I didn't really use the dual wielding in Red Dead 2 a lot, when I did, it was very satisfying.
It was badass. You have like a sawed off and a pistol, and you're just like bang, blasting
Or
the
I
door
would
down.
carry
And
the
then,
two. I would
Yeah.
carry the volcanic pistols always. I'd carry 2 of them, and you could just blast someone like 30 times, and it's just brutal.
Yeah.
yeah, I missed that. Yeah.
That's a hell of a game.
I missed all that, and I missed the gore too, like down to the physics and everything.
Yeah.
Like some people say the physics in Red Dead 1 are a little bit better in terms of the ragdolling, but I feel like it's just because it's fake. Like the physics are physically better in Red Dead 2, so therefore it's not as like eye capturing in some points, because like you fall in Red Dead 1 and John's like, oh my god, and he's
Yeah.
flailing.
Oh shit!
But in Red Dead 2, Arthur very much like tucks and tries to protect his head and shit. Like he tries to
Yeah.
act like a real human would if you fucking trip down a mountain.
Yeah.
Right? So
He doesn't turn into like Jello.
yeah, exactly. He responds like the human body would. So I it made me want to replay Red Dead 2. So it made me add another fucking tally mark to the list. Is when I get the Steam Deck, I'm gonna replay it on there.
Yeah,
I'm almost done with
my
my second playthrough on
15th
PC,
go
but-
around.
Yeah, I'm just gonna replay it again on there, along with many other things. But man, Red Dead 1, fucking phenomenal. I had a great time. But you know what I started? Undead Nightmare.
Yeah,
It's
I
better
never
than I remember.
Loved them.
I never
was great.
replayed Undead Nightmare.
You got it, man.
I
It
have
is
to.
so good. It is better than I remembered, man. It is so good.
I have the Xbox over there. Maybe I'll put it on this TV.
You should, dude. It's so fun. Like I forgot how good it was, and it really makes me like hope that if they do remaster Red Dead, I think they would be committing a sin by not remastering Undead Nightmare with it. And on the flip side, if they don't remaster Red Dead, they need to make Undead Nightmare 2. They have to.
I feel like no matter what, they have to.
I just look at like
I want to see an Undead Nightmare 2 with like the openness, the massiveness of the Red Dead 2 map.
Yeah.
And with like Arthur Morgan. I feel like just Arthur Morgan is a much more like I like John Marston a lot, but like the charisma of Arthur Morgan I
different.
think would be a lot funnier, because in Red Dead 1 it makes sense for his character, but John Marston just sounds tired of everyone's shit. He's
Yeah.
like, come on, I'm trying to just do my thing, and there's fucking zombies now.
Yeah.
There's
That's
zombies.
literally-
He's tired of everyone's
that's
shit.
literally how it goes in Undead Nightmare. Like the one charismatic thing he says is at the beginning when his family gets bitten. So he kills Uncle. His family gets bitten, and then he tries to feed them. And he's like,
Yeah.
"Son, don't eat your mother. Mother, take care of the son. Don't yell at him too bad. And son, respect your mother." And he's just like talking to them. And you're just like,
Yeah, it's
like
funny.
the one charismatic
Yeah.
thing he's done. But then the whole rest of it, he's like. He's talking to the professor, and he's like, "Yeah, we got to get a cure." And the professor's like, "I got to leave." And he's like, "Well, you're no hero." And he's just super serious, and he fucking dies.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the difference in character. It makes a lot of sense
It makes perfect sense, yeah.
for John Marston to evolve that way as a character, where he's like very much he's a much more lively character, and in Red Dead 2, in the prequel, and it's very interesting to see him interact in Red Dead 1. Yeah. Like when I forget, maybe it's after you get Bill and Javier, you go back up to right before you interact with Dutch for the first time, I think. You go back to the station where what's his name, Ross is, and his little lackey, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Milton. No, not Milton. Milton's in the second game. Edgar Ross. Yeah, his fucking lackey. I forget his name.
He's not important. He's a bitch anyway. So he goes and he like says something to John Marston, and Marston goes, "Do you want me to take my gun out and blow a fucking hole in your head right now?"
Yeah, I do have to say, one thing my memory kind of fizzled out was I always was like, man, Arthur Morgan's a fucking beast. And I thought John was kind of a pushover, but then replaying Red Dead, I was like, oh, there's actually some moments in there.
Well,
like,
yeah, exactly like that. Like he's just done with everyone's shit.
he hits a breaking point. Like he always starts off calm. You're just like, dude, like stick up for yourself. And then eventually he hits the breaking point, and he just goes from like, instead of being like, I'll beat your ass, it always ends up, I'll put a hole in your fucking head.
I will kill you right now.
That is literally how it always goes, and it's fantastic. I love it. But no, Undead Nightmare it is so good. I haven't beat it yet. It's so fucking good. I've been doing all like the side shit first. So like as you go to new areas, it'll be like new territories have been added, and you have to like save towns.
Yeah.
And I just forgot like how good this is. Imagine Undead Nightmare 2 with Red Dead 2's graphics, the gameplay of like having to pick your weapons. all the towns, first person perspective if you want it. That would be so sick.
Imagine, right?
So sick.
Imagine this Undead Nightmare world with Saint Denis. That'd be fucking crazy.
That would be awesome.
The massive city, and you know, just because that city is a huge area of the map.
Right. And it's like they don't have to obviously canonize it or anything. Like Red Dead.
Well, Red Dead Undead Nightmare isn't canon.
Well,
so.
Undead Nightmare, like it treads the line between canon and non-canon because there's obviously parts that aren't, like where you kill Uncle right in the beginning, and a bunch of other characters die, but it also ties into a specific point in the story. It jumps from a specific point, and it basically is the day after, I believe it said, John gets back with his family. It's the day after he takes a trip to the McFarlanes, and then that's where it kicks off. So it's like they put it sequentially in the timeline, but they didn't actually canonize anything that happens really. So it's cool, the line that it kind of walks. Like it almost would be cool to play the game, get to that point, play Undead Nightmare, and then go back and pick up the game, and you would just directly continue. But it's just so good. Like, how did Rockstar make a better zombie game than most other zombie games that
I
are
have no
exclusively
idea.
zombie games?
I just think, Undead Nightmare 2 would be
Incredible.
awesome.
Yeah.
But, what I imagine they're going to be doing is they're going to be shoveling more resources into Red Dead Online and GTA Online.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Because
That
it
makes them the money.
makes money.
So
Yeah, that's true. I know they talked about with Red Dead 2 or whatever. It's supposed to get an announcement soon to be relaunched for PS5 and Series X with like all the awesome support. I really hope that that's where we get something of like, hey, we're relaunching it like we did with GTA 36 times, and we're doing this,
Yeah.
Like it'd be sick if they were like, hey, expect in October Red Dead 2 for the PS5 and the Series X, but also we have this DLC down the pipeline. I highly doubt it, but it would be incredible.
Yeah. It would also be kind of neat to see the whole group in action against all these zombies.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I thought too is maybe that's their plan is they're going to say, hey, Red Dead 2 is coming to PS5 and Series X, but we're going to call it the Red Dead Collection, and it's a remake of Red Dead 1 as well. That would be sick if they remade both of them for next-gen consoles for PS5 and Series X, and then hopefully PC.
I think that'd be really neat.
That'd be incredible. That's just wishful thinking, though. It ain't going to happen. There's no fucking chance.
And hopefully it doesn't go like their other.
Yeah. Judging by
remasters.
how the GTA remasters went.
Hopefully it's not
crazy
like
to me that even happened because like that was like a guaranteed cash grab. Like you didn't have to do much.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's like because
It still looked like shit.
they
was
used
kinda
like AI to upscale it, but also, so it's just like it instead of redoing the textures manually, which, if you're charging $60 for this thing, at least do the textures again. Mm-hmm. Make it look nicer. Aside from just adding more polygons, like when look at the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy,
Complete remake.
All the textures are remade, and that game is from that same era.
Yeah.
And it looks really good.
Yeah, and plays really good.
But also with the remastered trilogy, the GTA remastered trilogy, there's bugs in that are not in the original games.
So they clearly just upscaled it, and they spent like a total of like a week's worth on
Yeah,
this
like
thing,
they had
and
to
they were
have.
done.
It's like just remake the textures in HD. It's like you kind of have the texture already if you just remake it in HD. And I imagine they could pull a lot of shit from GTA 5 too.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
You could technically probably downgrade assets from GTA 5 if you want to keep that art style.
Yeah.
Especially when one of them takes place in like the same area.
Yeah,
Too.
the same area is there.
Yeah.
The cul-de-sac
Los Santos
is there.
and all that. Yeah.
For San Andreas, the same buildings are there.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It was just a fucking huge blunder. But I think with anything, I feel like Red Dead would be something they might, seeing what happened, they might shift gears and, if they did want to remake it, it would be more of a remaster.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be. I just feel like it's easy money. Like, everyone's remastering shit nowadays. Like, we literally have a Dead Space remake coming out. Like, Resident Evil 4 just got announced as being remade in the Resident Evil engine from Resident Evil 2 and 3 that just got remade. So everyone's just remaking stuff. Like, just do it. Like, you're going to just fall into the trend. You're going to make a shit ton of money because there's almost no one out there that could look you dead in the eyes and be like, yeah, Red Dead Redemption, that's a shit game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wouldn't
almost
want
no
to
one
play
out
that
there.
again.
Yeah.
No,
There's-
it's everyone again, everyone is remastering games right now. So, and that's, perfectly fine. It's like how, movies will get re-released to like Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this looks a lot better. It's upscaled to like 4K.
Yeah.
Whereas, with games, it's upscaled and it takes a lot more work to upscale it, but still.
Yeah, because technically with the Blu-ray, they're not even upscaling it. It's that they downgraded it from their 8K fucking red camera. And they had to downgrade it to a DVD. Now they're just like, hey, let's push higher fidelity to this.
Especially if it's film.
If
it's film, you can almost instantly just upscale it.
And it's an instant cash grab because probably the people who already bought the game are gonna buy it again when it's remastered.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I feel like if they're going to do anything, they're going to announce the Red Dead Remaster with Red Dead 2, because if they want to boost these sales, right, they want to convince people who own Red Dead on the PS4 to buy it on the PS5, right? And they can flash 60 frames per second. Most people might buy it, some people won't. But if you really want to get people to buy Red Dead 2 for the PS5, you throw in something to do with Red Dead 1 Remastered.
That also being said, I have a question.
Yeah.
How much time would you say is enough time for a remaster, or enough time to warrant a remaster? Because there's games that I've seen remastered and I'm like, didn't that come out like not
6 years ago or something?
Yeah.
I would go ahead.
I would say probably if we're doing something like console, I guess this could also work for PC. 2 generations, I would say. So if we're on, say, a console, 2 generations forward of new consoles, then you can get a remaster.
So you say stuff for that was like on the 360 could be remastered now.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So I was going to say the exact same thing with a little catch. I was going to say 2 generations of consoles. But my thought is more on accessibility. So if the game can still be easily accessed, as in I have an Xbox Series X, but I can just fucking put this game in it and it'll work.
Yeah.
Does not need a remaster. But things like, let's say, Red Dead 1, there is no other way to play it besides PS3, 360, and streaming it to PS Now.
Yeah. Not to mention Nintendo games.
Yes.
There's a big one.
Nothing, there's no way to play it. The camera's about to die as well.
Nice.
So, with that in mind, that's kind of my cutoff. It would technically be like close to 14 years. That's usually like what 2 generations would be. But it's more so about accessibility. Like if I can just pop this game in my PS5, PS6, whatever, and it just works.
Yeah.
Like we shouldn't be remastering PS4 games because I can pop that in the PS5 and it works.
We should.
Yeah, I would say probably
even if they are from 2013.
I would say probably like 10 years, but that's also a good point. It's like if I can just pop this in and play it.
Yeah.
And with PC games, it doesn't make a ton of sense because you can most of the time just pop it in and play it, but also they have to be updated to work with like more modern Windows.
I was gonna say I'm all for updates. Like I don't need a remaster of fucking Dragon Age or whatever because Windows 11 came out. Like no, just update it, make it work with Windows 11. Camera died. Fuck.
All right, that's fine.
So like if the game's easily accessible though, like you don't need it. Like if it's a PS4 game, even though a PS4 game could be almost 10 years old at this point, I can just usually pop it in the PS5 and it just works.
And with graphics too, there's been like the beginning of video games, you have these massive leaps in graphics, and it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the technology has changed.
But,
like the graphics themselves have gotten better. But overall, like things like Nanite with Unreal Engine 5, that's more about it's about graphics, but it's honestly more about taxing the system. So the whole thing with Nanite is like, hey, you're really far away from these polygons. Let's fucking into one little mass of polygons instead of having all these individual ones you have to, render. So now with the same hardware, games look better because they're not as demanding.
Yeah.
So that's more where the technology is going. So like, yeah, some PS4 games, like The Last of Us 2 came out on PS4 and it looks just as good as Horizon Forbidden West that came out on PS5. And it looks just as good as Red Dead 2 that came out on PS4. And that looks just as good as some of the new games that came out on PS5. Like, there's just slight differences here and there.
Yeah.
Where it's more the technology behind these games.
Well, yeah, what I think would be more interesting with remasters if they updated the fundamental, like, feel of a lot of games.
Yes.
Where there's better physics and it's more...
And even the controls. Like, the controls especially.
Yeah, like even games like if you play like The Witcher, it's like, wow, this feels like an older game now.
And it's
feels
only
dated.
7 years old.
Yeah, it's only 7 years old. When you play like Red Dead 1, you're like, oh, this feels old to play. But then you play Red Dead 2 and you're like, each one of my steps is like tracked, and it's like sometimes I'm on 2 different terrains and it makes a different noise, or like I can do certain things and traverse certain terrains that I just wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
Because it clips better.
Yeah.
You know, so
or it's like, you're on a steep hill, so now Arthur falls and slides back
or
down.
and you like tumble backwards rather than just turning into a Jello man.
Yeah. Right.
I think maybe playability aspects should be upped.
Right.
I think it depends, because in some games you can't really do that. Like changing it fundamentally changes how
in
the
some
game
games
is.
like platformers, like I would say, like with Crash Bandicoot, I don't think that matters as much, because a platformer is going to play like a platformer.
Yeah.
Right, but if we're talking like GTA, like if they remastered GTA 4, the physics in that game are awesome, but I still would want like a little more to it than just Jello Man goes into flop mode when he hits his motorcycle on a fucking pole.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. Like one of my favorite things games do is when they have like contextual animations for certain things. So like in Red Dead, if you're walking up a hill and Arthur starts to struggle, he'll drop to his hands and knees and start kind of crawling. And it does that in like Horizon and stuff. But like that's where, to Chris's point, I feel like that's what would need to be improved. It's more of just like the modernizing of the way the game feels, behaves, responds, because that's kind of where things fall behind. Like I said, the technology is what's changing. It's not so much the fidelity. It's more of like, oh, now we have mocap, like L.A. Noire.
Yeah.
L.A. Noire was one of the first mocap games. It still looks okay, but the gameplay still feels like a little weird. So you could up that game, and honestly, the graphics wouldn't be that much more outstanding. It'd be like, oh yeah, this is good. But it'd be more so the feel, the driving shots in that game.
Yeah.
The physics of the driving, if you wiggle the thumbstick, it's like,
Yeah.
fucking car's bouncing.
But at the same time, it's like, is it really necessary? Because it's not a core part of the game.
Well, the driving is, there's chase scenes and stuff. The driving specifically is. But, like, some of the other stuff, like to your point, like climbing a ladder, does it have to be so contextual?
Yeah.
No.
Like, do we really need to remaster
But if
this
you're
so
gonna
the
charge me
ladder
50
climbing physics are good?
But if you're going to charge $50 or $60, I think you get away with it more if you were to do something like that. You know? Other than just like, hey, we made it 4K.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it amazes me that some remasters still come out and they capped at 30 frames per second. Ninja
that's
Gaiden.
ridiculous.
Ninja Gaiden, there was a fucking collection that got released that was capped at 28 frames per second on PC.
28?
What the
Yeah,
hell?
because I guess that's what it ran on the previous consoles that it was on.
PC?
It got capped at 28 frames per second. And letterbox mode, so the fucking screen would shrink and have black bars. Yep, I think it was
What the
It
hell?
wasn't a remake of Ninja Gaiden Black because they lost the source code of that. It was Ninja Gaiden 2, which was like the shittier version of it or something. So
How do you just lose the source code to something?
you just like spill some sody pop
Yeah.
on the hard drive,
It's
I guess.
the same way that the Nickelodeon studio lost all the assets for Jimmy Neutron, so they made Planet Sheen.
I mean, if you have the game out there somewhere, couldn't you get the source code?
The
back
only
from
the
that?
only asset they had left was Sheen.
Damn.
I didn't actually know about that. That's funny. But
There was a fire or flood or something. So I imagine something like that probably happened.
Yeah.
probably. But yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. So, as always, find us, youtube.com, video platform, as well as Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, and of course Pocket Cast, my app of choice. There's also the RSS feed to put it into whatever app you want. We have video on Spotify as well. And contact us via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Comments, questions, concerns, and death threats. We also have Instagram and TikTok where we do shorts, things like that. You'll probably see some sneak peeks of the camping trip, I'm thinking. Or not even the camping trip, but the fucking travel trip, we'll call it.
Or maybe set up or something.
Yeah, probably like little snippets here and there. We'll just tease things. And yeah, check us out there. And that's all I got.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Nah.
I'm out.